They say that in baseball, the only thing harder than finding a star is finding a place to put him. Welcome back to the channel, folks. Today, we are looking at a mathematical impossibility that is brewing inside the Toronto Blue Jays clubhouse. We aren't talking about batting averages or ERA today. We are talking about simple, brutal arithmetic. 7 players, 3 positions, 1 massive headache for the front office. As we inch closer to opening day, the euphoria of a $330 million offseason spending spree is starting to settle, and the cold reality of roster construction is setting in. The Blue Jays have reloaded, yes. They have brought in the heavy artillery with Dylan Cease, Cody Ponce, and the Japanese sensation Kazuma Okamoto. But in doing so, they have created a logjam so dense that it threatens to suffocate the development of some of their most promising young talent. Let's set the scene properly. The arrival of Kazuma Okamoto didn't just solve the third base issue, it sent a shockwave through the entire depth chart. With Andres Gimenez projected to take over shortstop in the post-Bo Bichette era, and Okamoto locking down the hot corner, the ripple effect has pushed everyone else into the outfield. We are now looking at a scenario where Dalton Varsho, Addison Barger, Anthony Santander, Nathan Lukes, Miles Straw, Joey Loperfido, and the fan favorite Davis Schneider are all competing for what is essentially 3 starting spots. And that's assuming George Springer is the full-time designated hitter. You don't need a degree in calculus to know that this equation doesn't balance. This isn't just a good problem to have, as the cliches go. It's a tactical inefficiency. Having a player with Davis Schneider's pop and versatility rotting on the bench, or playing once a week, is a waste of resources, especially when there are other fires burning on the roster. The rumors swirling around the league suggest that the Blue Jays are preparing to make a move that might break a few hearts but could save their season. ESPN and Bleacher Report are both pointing to a trade that converts this surplus of outfielders into the one thing money hasn't fully fixed yet: a lethal left-handed weapon out of the bullpen. The target is specific, the cost is personal, and the stakes are championship or bust. So, let's talk about the man in the middle of the crosshairs, Davis Schneider. In a sport that is often dominated by polished, clean-cut superstars, Schneider became an instant cult hero. The mustache, the glasses, the blue-collar work ethic, he represented the heartbeat of the city during some tough stretches in 2024 and 2025. Posting a .797 OPS in 82 games is no fluke. The kid can hit. But sentimentality doesn't win World Series trophies. The reality is that with Anthony Santander needing to play every day to justify his $92.5 million contract, and Varsho being the defensive anchor in center, Schneider is the odd man out. He is a valuable asset with no clear path to playing time. This is where the St. Louis Cardinals enter the picture. Their president of baseball operations, Chaim Bloom, is a shark when it comes to identifying value. The Cardinals are reportedly hunting for a right-handed bat to balance their lineup, and Schneider fits their mold perfectly: versatile, cost-controlled, and with upside. In return, the Blue Jays are eyeing JoJo Romero. Now, if you haven't watched much National League baseball, you might not know the name, but you should. Romero was a surgeon for the Cardinals in 2025, posting a dazzling 2.07 ERA. He is the kind of high-leverage reliever who comes into a jam with runners on second and third and strikes out the side. However, there is a catch. There is always a catch. Romero is entering the final year of his contract. This would be a pure rental trade. The Blue Jays would be trading years of control over Schneider for one guaranteed season of Romero. It's a gamble. It's the kind of move that defines a general manager's legacy. If Romero blows out his arm in May, the trade looks like a disaster. If he closes out Game 5 of the ALCS against the Yankees, nobody will care about the cost. It's a classic win-now maneuver that signals the front office believes this specific group, in this specific year, is ready to take the crown. They are willing to sacrifice the future depth for present perfection. Why is this trade necessary? Why can't we just keep Schneider and hope for the best? To answer that, we have to look at the Achilles heel of this super team, the left side of the bullpen. We can rave about the rotation all day, Gausman, Cease, Bieber, Berrios, and the emerging ace Trey Yesovich form arguably the best starting five in baseball. But the bridge to the closer is shaky. Currently, the Jays are relying on Eric Lauer and Brendan Little as their primary lefties. Lauer is solid, but he's a swingman better suited for long relief or spot starts. He isn't the guy you want facing the elite left-handed sluggers of the AL East in a high-pressure situation. And then we have the Brendan Little problem. We have to be objective here. Little had a productive regular season, but his postseason ERA of 11.25 is a scar that hasn't healed. It's a terrifying statistic for a team with World Series aspirations. You cannot enter October with a question mark that big in your bullpen. Acquiring JoJo Romero solves this instantly. It pushes Lauer into a depth role where he thrives and takes the pressure off Little to be perfect. It gives the manager a legitimate weapon to neutralize the likes of Juan Soto, Rafael Devers, or Kyle Tucker in the late innings. This trade idea is about turning a redundancy into a strength. It's about asset management. If the Blue Jays keep Schneider, he likely plays 40 games and gets frustrated. If they trade him for Romero, they get 60 appearances of elite relief pitching. The fan base is torn, and rightfully so. We love our homegrown heroes. We love the underdog stories like Schneider. But we also hate losing in the playoffs. The voice of the fan is currently a mix of anxiety and ambition. Half of the city wants to protect the depth. The other half wants to see the front office go for the jugular. This trade is the embodiment of that conflict. It's ruthless, it's risky, and it might just be the smartest thing they do all year. To wrap this up, the potential trade of Davis Schneider for JoJo Romero is the final coat of paint on a masterpiece of an offseason. It is the move that separates the hopefuls from the contenders. The Toronto Blue Jays have spent $330 million to tell the world they are serious. Trading a fan favorite for a rental reliever reinforces that message with an exclamation point. It says that feelings don't matter, winning matters. It says that the window is open right now, and they aren't going to let a roster logjam prevent them from fixing a glaring weakness. We are looking at a team that has learned the hard lessons of the past. They know that depth is great, but impact is better. Even if Schneider goes, the cupboard isn't bare. Nathan Luke, Miles Straw, and Joey Loperfido are capable of filling that bench role. The outfield will survive, but the bullpen? The bullpen needs a savior, and JoJo Romero might be the guy. It's a heavy price to pay, but championships are expensive. So, I want to turn this over to you guys. This is the debate of the week. Is the price of Davis Schneider worth the reward of JoJo Romero? Are you willing to sacrifice the mustache for a lockdown lefty who can get us through the 8th inning in October? Or do you think the Jays are giving up too much for a rental? Let me know in the comments below. I want to see your arguments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the roster mechanics, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. We are going to be tracking this story every single day until opening day. Let's go Blue Jays!